Today it's time for a spooky treat. You're gonna love these delicious pumpkin cookies.
Hello, fellow bakers, and welcome to a very special Halloween edition of Mainly Flour. And today we are going to be talking about pumpkin oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, so let's get started with a few bowls. Grab 8 tablespoons of melted butter and combine that with 1 cup of canned pumpkin puree. And I'm not talking about the pumpkin pie filling, which has sugars and spices and all that kind of stuff. We're going to build that up ourselves from scratch. Whisk the pumpkin and the butter together until nice and evenly combined. And next we are going to add a half cup of light brown sugar and a half cup of granulated sugar, which I already have mixed up. You can certainly use dark brown sugar. It'll impart a bit more of a molasses flavor, but let me tell you, I'm here for it. What can I say? Now let's add a lightly beaten egg to the mix, which will add some nice structure to this cookie. Give that a good whisk until nice and incorporated. You shouldn't worry about the egg getting too hot from the butter, as the butters cool down with the sugars and the pumpkin puree. Now let's add a touch of vanilla to this mix. We have a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I always go for the real thing. You can use imitation vanilla, but I highly encourage you to splurge on a nice bottle of pure vanilla extract. Now let's get the dry ingredients together. We have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/4 cups of quick cooking oats or instant oats, a half tablespoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of salt, and all the spices that fell on the counter, because I'm messy. Give that mixture a quick whisk until incorporated and set that aside. Now let's dissolve a half teaspoon of baking soda into a teaspoon of milk. This will kickstart the rising process, which will make our cookies a little extra fluffy. Now let's add our pumpkin mix, our dry ingredients, and our baking soda mixture together in a bowl, and stir the mixture together, folding and stirring until most of the flour has disappeared. You should still see little streaks, because it will continue to mix as we add chocolate chips. Now we're going to add a cup of chocolate chips to the mixture. Now let's give the chips a quick stir until just combined, but don't overmix the dough at this point. Now let's cover it with plastic wrap, refrigerate for 30 minutes. Next we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees, pull out a baking sheet and some cooking spray, make a little X pattern as I like to do, and add a sheet of parchment paper, which will keep in place as you're scooping your dough. Next, let's scoop 2 tablespoons worth of cookie dough onto our baking sheet, keeping them 2 inches space between each so that they have a little bit of a chance to spread. Now these are going to go into the oven for 10 to 12 minutes until they turn golden brown around the edges. And there you have it, a perfectly done pumpkin oatmeal chocolate chip cookie that I know you're going to love. I hope you do. Enjoy it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.